Hi viewers, welcome to Beginners Tech Road.
Within the loop, whatever the code we have, it continue repeatedly will execute until condition satisfies. Suppose if you want to stop somewhere, if you want to come out from that, even though condition satisfying, but you want to check some other condition. If you want to come out from that loops, any of the loops you can use, like a while loop, do loop, do while loop, or for loop, for each, anywhere. If you want to come out, you can use a break statement. So when you use a break statement, irrespective of your condition, whether condition still satisfies or condition is not going to satisfy, whatever it may be, in between you can interrupt your execution of loops. You can come out using a break. Okay. What about continue? I will just explain about the example of the break, then I will go for a continue. Okay. So now break example. See, for loop, I am just using as an example for a for loop. You can use any loop. In this example, I am using for a for loop. See, for int index equal to 0, index less than 10, index plus plus, all we have written. So what it means, until index less than 10, the loop will continue. Is nothing but 0 to 9, nothing but 10 times the loop will continue, usually. But when 5 times, when index is 5, we want to come out from break. From for loop. We want to come out from for loop. So you can use the if conditional statement, like if index equal to 5, this is the comparison relational operator to compare, equal comparison, right? So index equal to 5. So if this is satisfies the break statement we have written, so that it will come out from the loop. So this is the break example, so that these statements will not execute. This is the statements, as long as index not equal to 5, these statements will be executed. Like a index 0, this statement will be executed. 1 statements will be executed, 2 executed, 3 executed, 4 executed, 5. When 5, here we written a break statement so that it will jump out from this for loop, so that these statements will not be executed. So that is the break statement. Similar way, continue statement. So the use of continue statement is, suppose you want to skip the loop for one time based on some condition. If you want to stop execution for that one particular time, then you want to continue. You are not going to come out from the loop, but you want to stop execution of the statements for one time. You can use the continue. So what it does, so in this case, index equal to 5, then we have written a continue statement. In earlier case, we have written a break so that it just come out from for loop. But in this case, what it happens, it will continue for the remaining. Only when this condition satisfies, these statements will not execute. It will go to the top again, so that the for loop, it will start again, so that it will increment to 6. Then as the index 6 is not equal to 5, so that it will continue the statement. So the flow, usually the statements inside the for body, one by one it will execute, and then at the end of the statement it will go to the for, it will check the condition and it increments and then check the condition. So it increments and then check the condition, then again it will go to the for loop body and it will continue the executing the statements. But here, as we use a continue, it will just go to the top one. So it go for a next iteration. It will skip the current iteration, execution of the statements in the current iteration. It will continue for the remaining iterations. So that is the use of continue. I will give you one best example how we can use this break and continue. I will show you. Even by combining with all the loops and everything, I will show you the examples. Okay. I'm taking this itself as an example equal to 5. So here what I am going to do in this area, I am going to write okay, so just I have written this. I will execute and we will see. See now, index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Up to 4 it's written. Even though the condition is satisfying, but it's just coming out from the for loop. It's just jumped from the for loop. Okay. The same, even for your better understanding, I will show you as a debug. So I will put a debug point here and I will execute it. See, now the pointer is here, index is 0. How the for loop will execute, I will show you in a debug. See, why? Because as I said, this is the first time it will execute, okay? And then the condition will check. I will see, I'm going to hit the F11, so index is 0. Okay, see now, it is checking the condition. So it is not incrementing. Okay. First time only it will assign and this will check. Now it's going inside this condition, if condition 0 equal to 5 is false. So it is going here and it is writing. And again going, now you see, now you observe. After every completion of one loop, this will be increment will be executed and then condition will be checked. This first statement will not execute. First time only the first statement will execute. Second time onwards, first statement will not be executed. First time, this first statement as well as this condition also will execute. And second time, this when it comes, first this increment will execute, then condition will be checked. See now the increment will be done so that value became 1. Bottom you can see the index is 1. Now it comes to a checking. So it satisfies. It goes. So like that you need to understand here the for how it does. Okay, so the first the statement 1 will execute only one time, very first time. Then the index, this will be executed every time. Nothing but that will be condition checked, executed in the sense this second statement is a condition statement, right? That will be done every time. This index will be the increment, the statement 3 will be done from second time onwards, every time will be doing that. Okay, so that first this will increment will do, then condition. Second time onwards, increment condition, increment condition, increment condition, like that. So now again it goes up. See, index incrementing, condition checking, satisfying, then going like that. See, index is 2. I will just move until 5. Okay, suppose I can take out the breakpoint here now and I can keep inside here. So when it will go here, if index equal to 5, then only it will go here. So now I am just clicking directly continue. See, instead of doing multiple debugging, stepping to multiple times, I just remove that top breakpoint in between. Like that, while running also, you can keep breakpoints wherever you want. Like this, you can remove. One time if you click, it will put a breakpoint. One time if you click, again if you click, it will remove the breakpoint. So now it coming here. Why it is coming? If you see the index equal to 5. Now, if I do this break, usually if this is not satisfied, then it will go to this statement. But as it is satisfied now, it is coming out. So that is how the result, what we are getting on the screen. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Same way, how the continue will work, we will see. I just, same example, I have written a continue. See, now, I hope everyone understood as per our discussion. If you see what happens when index equal to 5, it will continue from here itself. From here itself, it will continue to top. So that after this block, nothing but this statement will not execute for 5. But remaining again, it will execute. It nothing but it prints 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because 5 is not going to print. We will see. Okay, so for this also to understand, I am keeping breakpoint inside only. Okay, so I am executing. I will keep here also 2 breakpoints. I will just execute it. What will happen? See, now what happened? As we kept here one breakpoint, here one breakpoint, but directly it stopped at a second breakpoint. Why it's not stopped at a first breakpoint? Because that is inside the if condition. If condition satisfies, then only control will goes to this statement, right? So that is the reason it's the control not gone to this place. That is the reason the breakpoint is not hit. So it's coming here. Why directly? Why it is not hitting this breakpoint? Because the first index value is 0. First time value is 0. So that it's not going here. Directly it is coming. Now again, if I click a continue, again it's came here. Why it's coming here? If you see, still like that. If I click continue, 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 again continue. Now it's coming here. So why it is coming now here? If you look at index equal to 5, fine. We will see the output. So far output, what we got it. See, we got a output so far 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it means it's printed all the statements. Now, as we used a continue, if there is no continue, what happens? It will go to this statement so that it writes the 5. But as we using continue, what happens? You see control where it goes. I am pressing a F11. See, directly it's gone to the for statement, the first on top. So that what happens? It's not going to write this line for a 5. It's directly gone to here. It increments to 6 and it will continue. Now I'm removing this breakpoint. I'm keeping still this breakpoint because it never going to satisfy now this condition. Why? Because always values now greater than 5. So I'm just clicking a continue. What happens? It completed out. Now the result, if you see, you can observe 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 5 is missing because we are skipping that. Execution of the statements we are skipping when index equal to 5. So as an understanding, I am writing only one statement to print that index value, but there may be a number of lines we have written. All that lines, it will be skipping for one time. So that is the use of the continue. Okay. So
I will give you one more example for continue and break statements. Okay, so I will use do while loop and I will show some menu for a user to picks the choice from the menu, so that how based on the user picking the choice, how the functionality. So we will just write a simple program and we will check.
see, now I am starting a do loop. Okay. And also the do syntax is do and then while. While, and here inside we should give a condition. Okay. As long as that condition satisfies, the do loop will be executing. Suppose I want to give a infinite loop. I want to make a infinite loop based on a user input. I want to stop. Okay. So in that case, I want to make infinite loop. How I can do? I want to make a condition which satisfies always. Example, 1 equal to 1. We can write it nothing but 1 equal to 1 is always true. So that the loop will be executed always. We can write like this: any condition, a fixed condition, it always evaluates true. Or in simple, you can write true. So I am just writing while true. Okay, so this is the basic skeleton. What happens? This loop will execute infinite number of times, unlimited times. It never stops. Okay, so now I want to display a menu to give a choice for the user. Based on the choice, I want to use the looping. Okay, so to display on the screen, I want to give a choice. So to display on the screen, what we will do? We will do a console, use a method write line. Okay, console.write line. Okay, so inside the one text we want to display for the user. So like a please select, or just please enter number of your choice. So just we will give a message to the user. Fine. And then we want to give the choices also. What are the choices we want to display for the user? So how, for a multiple choices, we will write inside same here. Okay, example choice 1. Okay, choice 1 is C language. Okay, what language we are giving a user to pick what language they want to learn. Okay, we will give a choice 1 as a C language. Similar way, we can give a multiple choices. Yeah, let we give a few more. Okay, C language and C# language. Okay, choice 2 is a C# language, and then choice 3. Okay, we can give Java language. Okay, like that we can add a number of things. Okay, even we want to give a choice to stop, to choose menu. Okay, or learning the various programming languages. Okay, we want to stop learning for today various programming languages. Okay, for the stop, maybe we can just give a exit. Option 4 is for the exit. Fine. Now we displayed the options for the user. Fine. Now, when we display this, once the user, if user want to choose some option, we want to take input from the user. So how we can take input from the user? We have the earlier I showed you like console.read key to wait for any key for user input. Similar way, read line is there. So I can take console.read line. What this does, it will prompt the user to enter any values. Okay. So now, if user enters that value, we want to keep. Why? Because program need to keep that value, and based on that value, we need to do some actions in the program, our program. Based on that, if the user selected if they choose one, we want to give a C language tutorials to learn, to C# language, like that we want to give it. So in that case, whatever the user given the option, we need to take that into the some memory to store that. Remember how we can do that? For that we have the variables. Okay, so what I will do, I will define. Okay, now I want one variable, so I am coming to top. So you coming to top, and I am giving a data type string, and I will take one variable user option. Okay, I am just declaring. I am not assigning anything. I am just going to declare, and that is the reason it you declared but not assigned or used like that. This warning is declared but never used. Okay, now this whatever user entered, I want to assign to this. So user option. Why? Because this read line, it gives a string return. It returns a string. So I am taking a string data type one variable. The input I am storing into this user option. In that variable I am storing. Fine. Now if user enters 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, I would like to just convert this to the, as a value I am getting as a string, I want to convert this to the digit. Okay, so for that I can take one more variable. So here I can take as a int data type, and I will take like a menu option or menu choice number, or simple I can take choice number. Choice number. And I will just assign default as a 0. Just as I am assigning default as 0. Even if you don't assign also, no problem. Okay, choice number. And now I want to convert this. This is a string data type. The choice number is for me as a numeric. I want to convert. How I can do? As we discussed and we learned earlier, we can use a method, convert method. Okay, convert dot to int. 32 is for the integer type. So inside I am going to use parameter of this variable, the string data type. I am in. See why? Because from string to int, it cannot be converted as a implicit. It cannot be done. Implicit can be, we discussed, implicit can be happen only from lower to higher kind of things. So in this case, it's not going to happen automatically. So for that reason, we are going to use the toInt method. So toInt 32, so that this will be converted to number. Fine. Now we got a user choice, whatever the choice they have selected, the number, either 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever the number they entered, we selected. Now we want to see the user entered correct number or any number is wrong. We are asking user to enter 1, 2, 3, 4. Whether they entered 1, 2, 3, 4 or not, we want to check it. Okay, so for that, how we can do? For conditional checking, we can use the if conditions. So in the if condition, I want to use this variable. So if choice number, user, whatever the user selected choice number, whether less than 1 also should not allow, as well as and or even or greater than 4 also we should not allow. So choice number greater than 4. These 4 are invalid choices, right? Whatever they have chosen, invalid choices. So now if the choice is invalid, we no need to do the rest of the steps. We want to stop here itself. and we need to ask them a right choice. So in that case, what we need to do, we are going to give a message for user understanding. We are going to give a message using a write line method. Write line method. I will give a message like, you have selected a wrong choice, invalid choice. So I can just type a text. You have entered, they entered, right? So I entered invalid choice number. Invalid choice number. That I am going to give the message for user understanding. And also I don't want to do it, any next action. I want to give the again a user option to choose right choice. So in this case, this is the where the use of the continue. I don't want to do a next step anything. I want to just continue, so that what it does, continue means it will go again here, so that again this will be displayed for the user. So I am doing that. So fine. Now you assume if user entered a right thing. So if user entered a right thing, then what will happen? Okay, what we want to do, we want to give a some tutorial based on their choice. We want to give a some tutorial. Okay, fine. I will just take a condition choice number. If the choice number is 1, whatever the choice number they entered, if it is a 1, see, I am going to write only one statement, so that it is optional, these braces to put if you are writing only one statement. If you are writing a multiple statement in the condition, you should use the braces. Okay, for your understanding, okay, I will use here brace. Okay, console dot, why? Because you should be very careful when you are writing a multiple lines, you should give the braces. If you miss the braces, then you will get a wrong behavior, or situationally you will get the errors. When you do that, you can understand what how it is. So this is the most important. I can just give you a message like, okay, as they are, welcome to C language tutorial. Okay, we are giving a tutorials for them. They can learn now with this. Okay, similar way, different choices we have, right? Total. So I am going to take Control C. I will paste here once again, and then I will check the choice 2. If choice is 2, welcome to C# language tutorial. Fine. Here, when you are using multiple choices, so here I am going to use else if. Why? Because only one is going to satisfy. So here I am going to write else if. Why? Because any one choice is only possible, right? Whatever they enter, either 1 or 2 or 3. So that is the reason I don't want to check every time. So that if this satisfies, this only should execute. No need to even check these conditions. So in such cases, else if. And even one more condition also I want to use with the else if. Okay, else if choice is 3. Okay, welcome to Java language tutorial. Fine. Now, if choice is 4, nothing but else. Else. So what I want to do, I want to stop this. I want to come out from the loop. So break. To come out from the loop, break. So I am writing a break. So this way, the break use, continue use, and do while loop and if condition, so all the way as a simple program. Okay, to understand how, based on the requirement, how we can write a complex programming. Same way we can explore more by writing a complex programming. So step by step, what we want to write it, how we want to write it, we need to think it as a logic, and we are going to write. And whatever the variables we require, we are going to choose, and we are going to put into a right place, and we are going to declare, assign, wherever, all the things we are going to do it. So this is the thing. Only if you write do while true, then it is a infinite loop. But we have given a here option for, so when the user selected, I just written a else. Why? Because the fourth is the last option. We ensured this only allowing 1 to 4. That is the reason I am giving a else. There is no other choice. 1, 2, 3. After that, no. That is the reason I am giving a else. Okay. So this is the one what we have written. So as this is the same thing, even just for your understanding, as I said earlier, as we have only one statement, we can write like this. These braces not mandatory if only one line. Okay. But we should be careful. Okay, we should be careful. Why? Because today you have written only one line. Tomorrow, in that condition, example, there is an enhancement. At that time, you want to include more than one statement. At the time, you need to introduce the braces. If you miss that, then your behavior will be different. So this way also you can write. It is valid. Okay. But only thing is, suppose if you return like this, and after that here, if you want to give one more message like this, and if you do a like this, now you will get the syntax error because parenthesis, because it's missing. After if you are not keeping braces, then it means this is only the statement for that if condition. Then this treats as a next statement, so that here else if we are using, it is a wrong. That is the reason. Welcome to C language. Learn hello world program. Okay, I am going to write like this. So now in this case, what will happen? This will be treated as a independent statement. This is not in the inside this if condition, so that this else, for the else, it is giving error. Suppose if I don't write this, now you don't get error. But what happens? This condition will execute always. It looks like this because this line is only the part of this if condition. This is a independent. There is no condition for this. So that way you will get a wrong result. So that you need to ensure. If you are really a single statement, then it is not a mandatory. If you write also, okay, but code will be lengthy and so much by readability. This way you can see quickly if else. Okay, so that is the thing you are going to practice while you are writing your program. Okay, I'm just commenting this part. See, now if I execute this, what happens? Let's see. The cursor is blinking because we have used the read line statement. So now I am first, as a trial, I am going to enter 7. I entered 7 and pressing the enter. See now what happened. When I press 7, what happened? You have entered invalid choice, and again it displaying, please enter number of your choice. See how this happening? The condition, if condition, we are checking this if condition we are checking, so that it is going here and it is continuing, so that all these statements not executed. All these statements not executed. and it is again started the loop. So that is the reason we are getting again prompt. Okay, I will enter 1 and then enter. See now what happened? Welcome to C language tutorial, and then please enter number of your choice. Okay, so it showed a C# language tutorial. So you, after example, you learn C#, you want to learn something now. So again, the choice is there. Okay, so now if you enter 2, enter. So welcome to C# language, and again. So why it is happening continuously? Because the while loop, do while loop is infinite loop. We mentioned here true. It means always true. True is true forever. So then when this loop will stop, only the option what we have provided in a menu 4 is to exit. Okay, so if I press 4 and enter, see now it is done. So execution stop, it's come out from the loop. How this is happening? With the help of break. Okay, so this is how the use of the continue, break in the loops. Okay.
Thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe to our channel for more videos.